The clinking of her fork against the plate was the only sound in the dining room. She ate in silence, her eyes lowered, clearly thinking about something else. I watched her carefully, pretending to sip my water, pretending not to notice the weight pressing between us. Then she finally spoke, her voice light, almost rehearsed. "What shall we do tonight?" Sounded so normal, so casual, but I knew better. For months, something had been off with Sarah. My wife of 12 years, the woman I thought I knew better than myself, had turned into a stranger living under the same roof. She laughed less, touched me less, avoided my eyes when I asked about her day. At first, I chalked it up to stress, her new role at work, the pressure she was under. But tonight, sitting across from her, I realized the truth was darker. Her words weren't an invitation. They were a shield, a way to cover the fact that her heart was elsewhere. Cracks in the glass. I pushed my chair back and forced a smile. "Maybe a movie. Or we could take a walk. It's been a while." She nodded quickly, too quickly, as if grateful for the suggestion. But her fork moved slower, her gaze distant. I recognized that look. It wasn't dinner she was tasting. It was memories. Someone else's touch. The first sign had been the late-night texts. She said they were just work emergencies. I believed her because I wanted to. Then came the new perfume, the sudden gym membership, the way she guarded her phone like it was a lifeline. And still I told myself no, she wouldn't. But denial only lasts so long. The discovery. The truth came to me not in a dramatic scene, not in some explosive reveal, but in the quietest way possible, just like tonight. Last week, when she was in the shower, her phone buzzed on the counter. I hadn't planned to look. God knows I wanted to respect her privacy. But the name flashing on the screen, Daniel, was one I'd never heard her mention. My chest tightened. My hands moved on their own. One swipe, one glance, and everything I thought I knew about my marriage collapsed. "Can't wait to see you again." Last night was unforgettable. I remember standing there, the steam from the shower filling the room, my heart pounding so hard it drowned out everything else. She had no idea that in that moment, while she hummed behind the curtain, my world shattered. Tonight's dinner. Now, sitting across from her at the table, I wanted to scream. I wanted to slam my fists on the wood and ask her how she could smile at me after writing those words to another man. But instead I played along. Because betrayal is a funny thing. It doesn't always push you into rage. Sometimes it paralyzes you with quiet, unbearable grief. She set her fork down, folded her napkin neatly. "Actually, I'm pretty tired. Maybe we just stay in." He nodded. "Sure. Whatever you want." Inside my chest burned. The confrontation brewing. That night, I lay beside her in bed, staring at the ceiling while she scrolled through her phone. The light from the screen illuminated her face, soft and calm, while my insides twisted with questions. Who was she texting? Him. Did she even realize how far she'd drifted from me? Or worse, did she know and not care? Finally I whispered, "Sarah, are you happy with me?" She froze, her thumb hovering over the screen. Slowly she looked at me. "Why would you ask that?" "Because you've been different. Distant." She sighed, setting the phone on the nightstand. "It's just work stress, David. You're overthinking." But her voice lacked conviction. And I knew that the truth was clawing to get out. The breaking point. The next day I couldn't focus at work. The email chains blurred, my meetings were a haze. I had to know for sure. I had to end this torture. So I did something I never imagined I'd do. I hired a private investigator. It felt like betrayal on my end too. Spying, doubting, digging into the woman I loved. But within days the PI delivered photos. Crystal clear. There she was, my wife, at a restaurant with him. Smiling the way she hadn't smiled at me in months. His hand brushing hers across the table. Her leaning in, eyes locked on him like he was her entire world. That night when she came home and kissed my cheek, I felt nothing but cold. The confrontation. The following evening, I set the photos on the kitchen table before dinner. No words, no accusations. Just truth, printed in glossy black and white. She walked in, stopped dead when she saw them. Her face drained of color. "David," she whispered, her voice cracking. I sat, my hands folded. My body trembling with rage I tried desperately to control. "How long?" She didn't answer. Her fingers trembled as she touched one of the photos. "How long, Sarah?" I repeated louder this time. Finally, tears welled in her eyes. "A few months." I closed my eyes, the air rushing out of me like a punctured balloon. Month. All those nights I held her, loved her, trusted her. She had been living a lie. The excuses. "I didn't mean for it to happen," she whispered, her voice shaking. "It just did." I felt alive again, like someone saw me, really saw me. "And I don't," I snapped, slamming my hand against the table. She flinched. "Don't you dare justify this. I was here, Sarah. I've always been here. If you needed more, you should have told me. Not this." She wept silently, covering her face with her hands. But her tears did nothing to soothe the storm inside me. The shattering realization. That night, I didn't sleep beside her. I sat on the couch, staring at the empty television screen, trying to piece together who she really was. Was everything a lie? Our wedding vows, our anniversaries, the quiet Sunday mornings making pancakes, were those just performances until someone better came along? The most painful part wasn't even the betrayal itself. It was realizing how invisible I had become to her. How easily she had given the love I cherished to someone else. The ending. The next morning, I told her I wanted a separation. Her face crumpled, panic flashing in her eyes. "David, please, we can work through this. It was a mistake, I'll end it." "No," I said firmly, my voice colder than I thought possible. "You ended us the moment you chose him." Packing my bags was surreal. Each shirt I folded felt like closing a chapter of my life I hadn't been ready to finish. She stood in the doorway, sobbing, begging, but I couldn't look at her. Not anymore. When I finally walked out, suitcase in hand, I turned back only once. She stood there, broken, the photos still on the table behind her. For years she had been my home. But that night I realized, home isn't a place. It's trust. And once it's gone, there's nothing left but walls. Epilogue. It's been weeks since that night. I sleep alone now, but at least the silence is honest. No more wondering, no more second-guessing every word, every touch. Just me and the slow, painful process of healing. Sometimes I think about her, about the way she asked, "What shall we do tonight?" As if everything was fine, as if our world wasn't crumbling beneath us. And I wonder if she ever lies awake, realizing that in her search to feel alive, she killed the one thing that truly was.